Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at some of these coins. So I've been pretty interesting overnight. Pretty eventful day yesterday, actually, across the board. So we're going to look at Bitcoin, obviously, and Matic, which is something that we're all very excited about on this channel. We love Matic; it's pretty much our favourite coin on this channel. So feel free to join the Telegram if you're interested in Matic. I've got my own Telegram group. I'll leave a link below. Anyway, despite all that, let's start with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin on the daily here, looking like it overstretched itself in the early hours of the morning, pushed actually right through the 200 exponential and 200 simple for the first time now that it's done that. But the weight was too high. It actually reached all the way up to almost 8,800 basically, and is now collapsing down in on itself, bouncing at the 10 simple, and also that 10 simple is crossing with the 7-day simple. So what's going to happen now? It looks like a bit of a consolidation area. I think bulls have certainly lost out now. They overstretched themselves, and the bears have now taken control, even though this move was pretty big for the bulls actually. So what's likely to happen now is to test our range within this area from the 10 simple to the 200 exponential. So that range is the same sort of range that we've been looking to achieve upwards, which is around 8,600. If we can break above there and ideally close above there, then we might be looking for continuation up to this level here, which would be 9,200, where the green 50 exponential is. But you know, if we break above that level, then we can all start to think perhaps maybe it's time to flip to bullish again. But again, at the moment, you know, even though we've started to, this is technically, you know, some big moves that we've had over the last few days since testing this bottom level here. I'm not overly bullish on this one at all. In fact, I'm actually a little bit bearish still. So long as we're beneath the areas of 9,200, and that's not just because of this green 50 exponential. It's because we've had this. I'll move this blue box over. We've had this area here marked out as support and resistance for a while now, all the way from back here where we tested it on the first pass down and bounced significantly from that. And this is where we were looking to perhaps find a bounce on this big drop down, but it was smashed right through it. So this 9,200 is an area of was, should I say, an area of support. It's most likely going to be an area of resistance, but if we can break above there, it is a bit of a pivotal moment. So into the 9,000s there and above the top of this blue box, which is 9,200. Breaking above there would give us a chance to gain that again as support, and then break out of this ever descending trend line that we've had now for since June actually. So quite a long time we've been on this downward trend. And once we break above there, then we can also start to look at making our way back up and away again. Now, you know, you don't need me to tell you that this is the level that we're at now, where Bitcoin really started to go parabolic. So to regain from this area here isn't unlikely. And how many days was this? It was this whole move up took just about 2 weeks to make. Now that's not normal, I should tell you that. Not even in Bitcoin's history, that's not normal, unless we're talking about the end of a 4-year cycle bull trend. So to see something like that take place, I would be very surprised. But you know, Bitcoin likes to surprise us all. What's more than likely, I believe, is more than likely going to happen now, is that because this move was so great today, that we're going to trade within this area and perhaps probably break down again to test this blue box territory here before maybe another attempt at its lower levels. We did close a wick in here the other day, you see, which would be the first time we closed a candle body rather than a wick in here. We've wicked in here a few times, and when the candle body closed in here, that was a bearish sign, but it got bought straight back up. The bulls took charge and lifted it all the way up to breaking above the 200 exponential, which is, like I say, it's a pivotal area for us. Generally speaking, any asset that trades beneath a 200 exponential, you have to be quite cautious about, perhaps maybe give a little bit more bias to bearish moves. And it's only until we break above there and stay above there that we can start to be bullish again. The problem being is that if we stay down here for too much longer, this green 50 exponential will obviously go further down, and perhaps maybe over the course of maybe a month from now, unless we've moved our way out of here and above this 200 exponential, it would actually form a death cross on the daily, which is pretty bearish, I should tell you now. That's a very bearish sign actually, and we might be looking for another event similar to this but probably bigger, bringing us down into the 6,000s, which is somewhere that we've kind of marked out in our own little way. This bottom of the Ichimoku cloud is where I would expect to see a true turnaround if we were to get down that low. However, if we did have a death cross on that daily chart, then it would actually be probably coming down into the cloud and maybe even lower. But that's a long way away yet. There's plenty of things that can happen with Bitcoin. Like I say, this happened in a 2-week period. There's nothing to suggest that can't, or something similar to that can't happen. Bitcoin does like to make big moves. We all know that. That's why we love it. Anyway, like I say, at the moment, this is our trading range. Whichever direction it decides to break out, whether it's under the 200 simple, which is 8,258, or the upwards trend to continue above the 8,600, it will give us a little indication of which direction it's going to go in, at least the short term, and that would be a move probably upwards of around 6%, and perhaps maybe a downwards move of as little as 3.5% to perhaps as much as 6.9%. But if we did get as low as 6.9%, it would be likely that we're going to eventually break down. There'll be some bounces along the way, but it would probably tell me that it's likely to break down over time to lower figures, 6,000s and things like that. So, but at the moment we've got a very small trading range, and we're kind of trending right in the middle of, well, towards the bottom of that trading range. It might be a little scalpy area today. Anywhere from we've only got a 4% trading range really, where I expect to see bounces and rejections in this area. Right, let's move to Matic then. So Matic has been pretty impressive these last few days. This would now be, I won't count these little greens, even though they are greens. But this we've had a significant rejection, I should say. But this appears to be our 5th consecutive green candle day, and we're talking big green candles. So pretty much marked out here where we were rejected from. That I actually say that the rejection point should have been a little higher than that, around 210 satoshis, and about 220 satoshis as well. But breaking above there should cause some form of continuation, but we're a little bit away from that. I think this all coincided with the way that Bitcoin decided to fall down on itself, bringing everything down with it, in fact, because it was a significant gain in price and then a really big plummet down. So it's that kind of thing that will impact the rest of the market, despite what these coins are wanting to do. But Matic has been making amazing moves, and sparked out of this triangle figure that we had here, and breaking out of there, which has been all the way from our bottom level from here, tested here, tested here, an upwards trend and a descending trend we broke out of, and now we're up and away. I've not really got an exact figure from this trend, but we have broken out of this one too. It's not a great one to look at, but it's pretty positive, the fact that we smashed right through that and this blue box territory. So again, with Satoshi values, we really need to start to make our way up and away and above 210 Satoshis, and ideally 220 Satoshis to have a continuation move, which would be a lot like what we've seen already. It's not normal for something like this to take place, so do expect some consolidation out of this. So provided that the consolidation doesn't shrink any further than this blue box territory here, hopefully this would now become a support level for us. And when we look at the tether pairing, it was looking pretty good, to be honest with you. It was looking pretty positive, and to be honest with you, it still is. We're on the daily chart now. We've got a bit of a red candle here from a rejection point. We've found ourselves rejected at this level on 2 occasions, the first one and the second one, so that's 1.7 cent that we've been rejected from twice. What we need to see is we need to break away and above this area to have a continuation up to the holy grail of 2 cent. Which would certainly be rejection point, people taking profit, because that's an obvious place for it to be sold off at. However, if we can break above that level, then we're talking about 2.2 cent, and then I would say 2.6 cent before we're getting into the 3 cent area. But again, a long way off. I really would expect to see some consolidation now after having these 4 big green candles all the way up from top to bottom of well, I mean that's a wick there, but over 60% move in under a week. Pretty impressive, Matic, very impressive. All of this has been brought about simply by its chart. And a lot of people say technical analysis doesn't work on crypto, and you know, a lot of the time you could be right, especially when it comes to altcoins. It's very difficult, especially with a coin like Matic. Is very difficult because it's such a new coin and it doesn't have a specific trend. It's making its trend as it goes. So you keep constantly kept on your toes with a coin like Matic, but generally a lot of altcoins are quite hard to track out where they're going to go. All you can really do is work out where the support and resistances are, but you always have to keep a close eye on Big Brother Bitcoin, which dominates the market and dominates the moves. That said, though, you know, over the last few days Bitcoin has been making moves, but Matic's moves have completely eclipsed that of Bitcoin, and if Bitcoin had made moves like that, I mean, you know, that would be front page news. Never mind, let's see how far we consolidate now. We're way outside of this Bollinger Band area on the daily chart, so I kind of would not be surprised if we come back down to test areas such as 1.5 cent or even lower, just so we can get ourselves back in the Bollinger Band. We're way up in the RSI. That's coming down now back into the safety zone. So maybe today we'll have a little bit of a red day, perhaps. You just don't know with Matic. Maybe a bit of a red day, but considering where we've come from, you know, I'd still got a lot of expectations out of this one. Maybe I would say we're likely to come down as low as this area, we'll call it 1.28 cent, before a significant bounce. The centre of the Bollinger Band currently stands at 1.17, so 1.2 cent really. But to come down to that level would be quite disappointing, because we'd be breaking down beneath the 50 EMA, which would be not a good sign. We want to see at least a bounce from there or above. But we are talking daily charts here, so from top to bottom, from that area to there, from where we are right now, it's quite a big decline. It's almost 18.5% down. So I'd really feel a little disappointed if it did do that, but if it did, I would hope and maybe expect actually for a bounce on that level, and then perhaps maybe a continuation up. Like I say, buying green candles like this isn't a great idea. We've been waiting for a consolidation, so let's see if we get that consolidation, see where it goes down to, and at that point we can reassess the situation, work out what it is to pick it up at maybe that level. But I remember thinking exactly the same thing when I was looking at Chainlink. I looked at the Chainlink. Chainlink's been around for a lot longer, so the chart is a lot easier to read. But if you go back about a week, I made a video on Chainlink about how it looked very bullish, but I wanted it to consolidate a little. It front run me. I didn't get opportunity to buy it, and it moved enormously, massively moved. So sometimes, you know, you just got to you just got to bite the bullet. And if you see something that you think is going to happen, and there's a coin like Matic where it's very difficult to chart for that thing to happen, you can just go in for it, really. I mean, I'm not a financial advisor, this isn't financial advice. I've been accumulating Matic now since almost its inception on Binance, to be honest with you, so I'm quite happy with it. It's alongside Bitcoin, it's the only coin that I accumulate with. I don't accumulate any other coin, I just trade them now. But with Bitcoin and Matic, they're two coins that I do accumulate, and you know, I'd maybe even consider accumulating it at this level. I accumulated some at 2 cent, was the highest I bought it at. So yeah, I don't have a problem buying it at this level, but I am in it for the long run. So it depends where your strategies lie. If you want to buy it, you know, sell it quickly, make a bit of money, then it's probably not the greatest thing to try and do it now. If you're talking a year or two, which is what I like to plan for with Matic and Bitcoin, then yeah, why not buy it here? But like I say, you are in it for the long haul. You are going to be watching it go up and down like a yo-yo. Anyway, I'm going to leave it with you there. Hope you have a nice day. Thanks for watching, and take it easy.